Hey y'all.
Did you miss me?
But did you for real? I know y'all did. So I know it's been a while since I have done a video. I can tell by the amount of messages that I have been getting this week from people that they like, okay, now what's going on? You know, if I hadn't contacted you personally, you know, you probably are wondering what is actually going on, because like I said, it has been a while since I did an update. So a lot has happened. Today is July 21st, Thursday, July 21st. So I had my third round of chemo since I did my last video. I really hate that in the last video I said chemo hadn't been that bad, because my third round of chemo was rough. Typically it took me like a week to kind of get over everything and get back on my feet. The third round of chemo, it took me almost 2 weeks. So I was a lot more tired that third round. A couple times I could barely like walk a couple days. We actually had to go somewhere one day, well actually a couple days. Cameron had to push me in the wheelchair because my legs were so weak. By the going into the second week, I started having extreme pain in my feet. I originally thought it was bone pain, so I called the doctor. I got some stronger pain meds. They worked for the first few days, but then after that, it was just kind of like only kind of dulled the pain. So it was a lot. But then it kind of moved into my feet kind of hurting like pretty much the whole day, to my feet were just hurting at nighttime. So that's when we realized that it was more so nerve pain, which is one of the main side effects when you're taking chemotherapy. So I just recently got on some meds almost 2 weeks ago, gabapentin, to help treat the nerve damage in my feet. So it hasn't completely like cured it yet. I'm still having issues at nighttime, but it has gotten better, so I'm thankful for that. So after my third round of chemo, I had a CT scan. I think it was 3 weeks after that round of chemo. Had the CT scan, and then I had my follow-up appointment with the doctor. So you know how if your doctor uses like the MyChart app, you can see like your results from everything before you even actually talk to the doctor. So once I got my MyChart results, I read the results, and it looked like from the results it showed that the tumor had shrunk some, but not a lot. So going into my follow-up appointment, I completely expected him to say, okay, we're going to go into chemo, because he had told me that be prepared to take chemo that day of the follow-up appointment if he didn't approve me for surgery. So I go to the appointment, I have my cover and everything. I fully expected to spend the whole day doing chemo. Like I said, I was mentally prepared, even though I did not want to do it. And so when I had my follow-up appointment, he told me that he was wanting to do a laparoscopic procedure that would be more than likely exploratory, but there also could be some other things that could take place during this procedure. So he said that if he saw that he could remove the tumor, then he would. There were some other things that, you know, could potentially happen. So the waiver list that I signed was really long. So somewhat excited, somewhat scared leaving that appointment, because there were so many possibilities of things that could happen. I could potentially have a hysterectomy, potential of, you know, some things going wrong. Obviously, you know, when they put you to sleep, you know that there's a chance, you know. So he said he may just end up doing some biopsies, things of that nature. So like I said, there was a long list of things that I signed off on that day before my procedure. And then so on June 28th, I had the procedure. He went through my belly button, and he didn't feel comfortable removing the tumor at that time. He took a biopsy of my fallopian tube. He also didn't feel like removing the tumor because the tumor, the way it was positioned was too close to my bowel. So he didn't want to risk that at that time. Also, I didn't realize that I had accumulated more fluid. I really kind of thought the fluid was gone for the most part, mainly because I've lost a lot of weight, so I really don't know what my stomach is supposed to look like at this size. So I really didn't think I had, if I did have fluid, I really didn't think it was that much, but he did end up draining 4.5 liters of fluid from my abdomen. As soon as I opened my, like I said, with all the list of things that could potentially happen, I opened my eyes and immediately I'm like, what happened? What did he do? As the nurse is pushing me down the hall, I'm like, what did he do? And she told me, you know, he just did the biopsy. He did not remove the tumor. So at the end of the day, would I have wanted, you know, to leave out of there without a tumor? Yes. But with so many potentials that were involved and what could happen during this surgery, to me, I was okay with it. It still gives me hope that, you know, that I won't have to have a hysterectomy, or, you know, so it still gives me hope that we can shrink the tumor down some more before, you know, I have another surgery. Even with the surgery possibility, you know, I could have had a laparoscopic procedure, which would have allowed me to go home the same day, or I could have had a bigger cut, which have put me in the hospital a couple days. So for me, looking at being positive, like I try to be, I was not devastated, is what I'm meaning by all of that. So just in recovering from that procedure, I was sore for a few days, but you know, it was a pretty quick healing recovery time from that. Been waiting on all of that. So from that time to today, which is June 28th when I had the procedure, to today, which is July 21st, I have been waiting on my follow-up appointment. It seems like the Lord is really trying to teach me patience here, because this whole thing has been a waiting game. It did show up in my chart what the results were, probably like the next couple days. But I started to read, you know, what the findings were, but I started to find myself getting really anxious about, you know, what I was reading. A lot of it was because there was all these big words. Some of it, I didn't know what it was, and I'm like, I kind of learned from the other, from the CT scan, that sometimes you just need to leave my chart alone, because if you don't understand it, you can start spiraling. And so I did start. There was one thing that I remember I looked up and I was like, you know what, I'm done. And I'll kind of explain that here in a sec, which was the part that I actually did look up. Okay, so went to the doctor today. Of course, I'm nervous. I really was kind of anticipating starting chemo again. Not that I thought I was going to do it today. I figured probably next week I probably was going to start chemo. Also even thinking maybe they're going to introduce radiation to it. I'm not really knowing really what to expect, but I guess I'm for sure expecting that I'm going to do more chemo. He comes in and he said that first he started off with, we found some interesting things, and I'm like, oh gosh. So I'm very glad that we did go ahead and do the biopsy, because he was able to see what type of cancer cells that I actually have. So you have low-grade serous carcinoma cells, and you also have high-grade. He said what I have is low-grade, which I did see on the MyChart app. And so when I Googled it, I saw that low-grade cells are resistant to chemotherapy. So when I read that, I was like, nope, I can't do this right now. I don't want to read no more, none of that. But what he told me was low-grade cells are resistant to chemotherapy, but they are better treated with hormone therapy. Of course, that was like there's something for that. With the hormone therapy, there is a longer treatment time. But this treatment has been found to be successful with this type of cancer. The great part about that is I won't have the same side effects that chemo causes. So my hair is gonna grow back. It's actually already kind of growing back. I don't know if you can tell or not on the video as much. I won't be as tired taking the treatments. There are some side effects, but some of them are rare. Well, possible side effects, but some of them are rare. I could have some joint pain. Hey, I've already been having that, so hopefully it won't be too bad. You know, I hope that after a while, since I won't be taking the chemo, that the neuropathy in my feet will go away. So that's a plus. When he's explaining all this to me, I just feel the weight just kind of falling off, you know. Also, this is a medication that I will be taking from home every day. So there's two different medications. One is a pill and one is a liquid medication. And then I will get infusions. So I'll have an infusion on August 12th, but that won't be anything like what I have been receiving with the chemo. Also, I won't have to get my blood work checked every single week, which I'm super grateful for as well, because my little veins are worn out. I only have a couple of veins that, you know, really the doctor or the nurse can typically get to. So the good ones that I have, they needed a break, you know, because I was starting to get scar tissue and all that. So like I said, if you hear me take that deep breath, it's like I really am on like a high from it, because to me it's good news. Because I do have the low grade, it is slow progressing, but again, it's also slow to treat. I will be taking this medicine for a while. He didn't really give me a time frame of how long exactly it would take. I will be doing scans every few months to see if I'm improving. So I will say, you know, I feel good. I feel like everything is, you know, on the right path. My journey isn't over, my fight isn't over, but I feel so much better about this. A lot of it is because I can kind of have some normalcy in my life because the side effects of having chemo, you know, I'm knowing that for at least a week I'm going to be at home, you know. My mom has been having to come up here and take care of me, you know, along with Cameron, and I can't really like plan things because, you know, especially these last couple of weeks, I didn't know when I might start back with chemo. So it's almost like my life is somewhat at a standstill, even though it's not a lot of times. And so I'm just grateful. At first I was like, so I went through chemo for nothing. I lost my hair. I didn't have to. But just looking at it, this was all just part of the journey. I mean, if you've seen the pictures that I took, I don't know how to completely describe how I felt when I saw those pictures. And obviously I saw myself in a way I hadn't seen myself before, because I've never been bald. But it was more than just that. Like, I really saw myself. I feel like God is just showing me who I am. He's showing me what my purpose is. He's showing me that there's so much more that I have to give to the world. There's so much more that I have to learn. All I can do is just say thank you, God, because it could be different. I could be having a more aggressive cancer. And so, like I said, I'm just grateful. This journey has not been easy, and you know, I've tried to stay positive throughout, but like I've said before, I have had some rough days, and being in pain is probably one of the toughest things that you all know. Like, if it's not like I have a headache and I take Tylenol and it goes away. When you are in pain for several days, whereas on your mental, I feel like I slept for almost a whole week with this last round. I lost more weight. I've never been a skinny person. And so this is the smallest I've ever been in my adult life. And so even just trying to get used to looking different, feeling different, all those things, you know, it's been a challenge, you know. and eating different. Like, I love food, and so starting, you know, from like February to not that long ago, my appetite was non-existent at times, up and down, and so it's been a lot. But through it all, I wake up every morning thanking God. I wake up every morning just thankful for another day. Every morning I look at myself in the mirror and I say I am healed. And so I believe in manifesting. To me, that's what helps me stay positive. So how do I feel now? So it's been almost 2 months since I had chemo. I feel better than I have in a long time. I really have been working on eating better, working on making sure, you know, I'm taking vitamins, making sure that I'm eating stuff that, you know, has some nutritional value. I've been trying to do some light exercising. My energy is so much better. I still have a ways to go. I've gained a few pounds in the last couple of weeks, which may be from the gabapentin. I heard that it increases your appetite. Yeah, so but I don't want to gain too much, you know. I don't want to get where I was, but I definitely want to be healthier. I don't have to worry about the side effects from chemo kind of like messing with that again. So again, I just feel good about where things are going. Again, like I do every time, I just want to thank everybody for the support, the prayers, the encouragement. I have always been a sensitive, emotional person, but I have turned that up a notch lately. And it's hard for me to even talk about it without tearing up, but so many people have been so much to me and been so supportive to me. And I'm not saying I never felt that before, but I'm just saying, you know, when things happen to you, the people that show up for you mean a lot. You know, you expect certain people to show up, but when the unexpected people show up and are there for you, to support you, to give you, and it's not even, again, it's not about the material things that I've said before. Those are great. Thank you for the people that have sent me stuff. But even just having conversations with people, it just helps me to get up in the morning and say, girl, you got this. Like, so I just want to say I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hear my voice shaking because I'm getting emotional, but anything, if you have said, done for me, whatever, even if I haven't spoken to you, I feel the multitude of prayers that I've been getting. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I wish there was another word that would be better than thank you, but that's all I got right now. But again, I really appreciate everybody, again, that has reached out, sent stuff to my house, you know, surprised me with stuff, or even just asking me if I need anything. And I know a couple of my friends have gotten mad, like, you know, like, girl, what you need? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't really need anything. And they're like, okay. But again, just the thought of you, the fact that you've reached out, that you're concerned, is enough for little old me. So I appreciate it. God is still blessing me. He's blessed me and he keeps on blessing me over and over again. I'm just in awe of how good he's been to me, you know. I'm gonna try not to stay away too long for the next video. There may not be a lot going on with me if I'm not having, you know, the same treatment process, but I am still gonna check in. I appreciate y'all listening. Bye bye.